Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to start this lesson off by giving all honor, praise, and infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahaha Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, blessing, and salutation to the hopeful elect that are out there diligently pushing this word in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. It's your brother Kazak Tazabah coming at you once again through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. So as you can see from here on the People's Voice, all right, it says this was released today, June 24th, 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. Okay, and that's a perfect segue into this lesson. That, as you can see, there will be a major attack in U.S. by 2025, former Green Beret warns. Okay, because this being coined the year of Jacob's trouble, we know that there are certain events that are going to take place, okay, that will eventually lead to some form of attack one way or another. Okay, now this is somebody from on the inside, all right, someone who has seen, combat. This is somebody who has seen the, intel, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. Okay. In this article, it kind of briefly goes over how he calculated this prediction, or not even prediction, but this expectation, okay, based off of what this the current administration is allowing here in America. Okay, it says a former Green Beret has warned that there will be a major attack inside the United States by 2025, and it will partly thanks to the President Biden's open border policies. Okay, now obviously this is nothing new. We've been paying attention to this. It's quite evident that these people who are in office do not care about the well-being of, these Americans, okay, about the people within America, all right? Otherwise, they would have, had some form of restriction, okay, rather than just allowing anybody and everybody from every country to come into America without going through the proper measures, the proper protocol. All right, being here in San Diego, you gotta to cross the border, to become, just to come across the border from from Mexico. All right, you need papers, you need documents. Okay, and if you plan on staying here, you could be on the potential waiting list for anywhere from 6 months to a year, if not more. All right, the proper way. And primarily that's mainly targeted towards, Northern Kingdom. All right, they will have Northern Kingdom jump through all kind of hoops just to get papers so they can come over to America. But as soon as you get Moab and you get Ishmael, you get Ham, all right, coming across the border, it's just free game. Okay, it's open season, right? But what do you think that's going to lead to? It says retired Lieutenant Colonel Scott Mann, author of Operation Pineapple Express, claims that veteran sources in Afghanistan told him to expect a major terrorist attack event within the U.S. within the next year. Okay, so this is from a veteran, all right, talking to some kind of Afghanians or whatever over there in the Middle East. Okay, probably somebody that was detained. Okay, and while under being detained, he probably released some form of information. All right. It says in an interview with Newsmax on Saturday, and told host Rob Schmidt what they're saying is a very, very imminent attack on the horizon and a lot of activity below the surface inside Afghanistan. He added it has become the world's biggest safe haven against to launch an attack against the West and specifically the U.S. It says InfoWars report, man was part of a task force Pineapple, a task force set up by a volunteer group of U.S. veterans to evacuate American citizens and Afghan allies following the Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan. Man went on to lambast the U.S. intelligence apparatus and politicians for allowing a return to the same set of conditions that preceded the 9/11 attack, which led to a massive expansion of domestic surveillance powers and the global war on terror. All right. Now, we know, all right, we know that what happened back in 9/11, that was an inside job, man. Okay. I remember, growing up, okay, my young adulthood, they have clips and videos of when the former president, George W. Bush, was in a classroom, all right, they had students saying, reciting certain words, such as things like, and I can't remember exactly the words, but they were too aligned and too, it's not, it's not coincidental by no means, but it was like tower, bomb, some other stuff, but it was equivalent to what just happened. All right. And then they had a Secret Service whispering in George Bush's ear, and George Bush had no kind of expression on his face. He looked nervous, his eyes was going back and forth. He knew it was like a done deal. He's like, there it is. It's like almost they knew what was going to happen. Okay. And then they tried to blame it. All right. They tried to blame it on another country. Okay. So here you have these other countries that have been taking the blame for over 20 years now, and they're looking to get their lick back. Okay. It says, we've been here before. We've experienced this before. We swore never again on 9/11 and spent 20 years building an intelligence capability and a partner capability inside Afghanistan to deal with this, man explained. Let's see something. But right here it says, now for these striking revelations to come from the senior leaders that the dashboard is blinking red. Yeah, it is. And it has been for some time, ever since we left there. So it does feel a lot like pre 9/11. Okay, so a lot of the things that were led up to the point of 9/11, it's coming back, to fruition again. It's coming back doing the same thing. History just kind of repeating itself in a sense. Okay. So, this is definitely something that will happen. Okay. It's not if, but when. All right. Because destruction of modern day Nineveh, okay, aka Babylon, also known as America, will be destroyed. Okay. From the inside, and then will come the exterior, surrounding countries that will ultimately just completely obliterate this place. Okay. Oh, that's all written in the Bible, man. Don't take my word for it. Let me just bring it out. I want to read Nahum, the 3rd chapter in the NLT, because it clearly lets you know who this sound. Who just imagine, as I'm reading this, picture America, okay? As in time when it says Nineveh, okay, just think of America. Salakia. All right. It says, what sorrows await Nineveh, the city of murder and lies? She is crammed with wealth and is never without victims. Hear the crack of whips, the rumble of the wheels, horses' hooves pound, and chariots clatter wildly. See the flashing sword and glittering spears, and the charioteers charge past. There are countless casualties, heaps of bodies, so many bodies that people stumble over them. Okay? So it's to the point where it's going to be so many casualties, so many people, all right, giving up the spirit. People, you're going to be stumbling over them. It says all this because Nineveh, the beautiful and faithless city, mistress of deadly charms. Okay. Doesn't it also go into that? I want to say in Revelation, right? What is it? Is it Revelation 18? Revelation 18 and 11, and merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold, silver, and precious stones, and of pearls, and of fine linen, and of purple, and silk, and scarlet, and all thine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and manner of vessels of precious wood, and of brass, and of iron, and marble. Okay. Let me just get to the point. It says, verse 15, the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, alas, and saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed with fine linen and pure purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Okay, which directly correlates to Nahum, the 3rd chapter. Read verse 4 again in an NLT. All this because Nineveh, the beautiful and faithless city, mistress of deadly charms, enticed the nations with her beauty. She taught them all her magic, enchanting people everywhere. I am your enemy, saith Yahweh Shemel Shai of heaven's armies. Now will I lift your skirt and show all the earth your nakedness and shame. I will cover you with filth and show the world how vile you are. Okay, and everybody is seeing how vile and disgusting America is, man. Look at what month we're in. Okay, we're in P month. Okay, where you got a whole bunch of moles running around, everything showing, have no shame. It says, verse 7, all who see you will shrink back and say, Nineveh lies in ruins. Where are the mourners? Does anyone regret your destruction? Are you any better than the city of Thebes, situated on the Nile River, surrounded by water? She was protected by the river on all sides, walled in by water. Ethiopia and the land of Egypt gave unlimited assistance. The nations of Put and Libya were among her allies. Yet Thebes fell, and her people were led away as captives. Her babies were dashed to death against the stones of the streets. Soldiers threw dice to get Egyptian officers as servants. All the leaders were bound in chains. And you, Nineveh, will also stagger like a drunkard. You will hide for fear of the attacking enemy. Okay? So it says Nineveh is going to stagger, like a drunkard. Okay? That also, there's a duality to it, because there's also, it can go into, the fact of, just instability. Okay? An unstable nation. Okay, because when you come across a drunkard or a drunken man, he doesn't have his feet about himself. Okay, he's stumbling, he's falling all over the place, he's unstable. Okay, And that, and that's just exactly how America is, a very unstable nation, but also could go directly correlate to when the scripture says that that this place will utter like a drunkard. It says, Isaiah 24 and 19, the earth is utterly broken down, the earth is clean, dissolved, the earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and from the transgressions thereof shall be heavy upon it, and shall fall and not rise again. And that's talking about, when the earth is rattled, okay, by way of the destruction of Babylon, okay, and that it is never going to rise up again. All right. Going back to Nahum chapter 3 and verse 12 in the NLT, all your fortresses will fall. They will be devoured like the ripe figs that fall into the mouths of those who shake the trees. Your troops will be as weak and helpless as women. All right. Talking about Babylon's military, okay, their national guard, so on and so forth. The gates of your land will be opened wide to the enemy and set on fire and burned. Okay. And that's exactly what this here former Green Beret was saying. Okay. Because of what was what the intel that was passed down to him by a direct source from Afghanistan. Okay. It says the gates of your land will be opened wide to the enemy and set on fire and burned. Get ready for the siege. Store up water, strengthen the defenses. Go into the pits to trample clay and pack it into molds, making bricks to repair the walls. All right. In other words, block out the, put up borders and block out the enemies from coming into the country. Okay, coming into their territory, right? Where we got walls, 50 feet tall, along the borders of America, but that's all null and void because they got pits, they got underground tunnels that from Mexico to America. And I know that they got tunnels that pop up in because you got a lot of Northern Kingdom that own little Hispanic little grocery stores, little mom and pop shops. They have a lot of storage units. Okay, I got a storage unit, and it's a little suspect, but they more than likely would probably have a tunnel, that pop up in one of them little storage units, and then they out and about. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So it's quite evident, man. This here chapter, and I've been bringing this out a lot ever since this whole migrant situation has been taking place. But this is exactly what's going to happen. It says, verse 15, but the fire will devour you, the sword will cut you down, the enemy will consume you like locusts, devouring everything they see. There will be no escape. Even if you multiply like swarming locusts, your merchants have multiplied until they outnumber the stars. But like a swarm of locusts, they strip the land and fly away. Okay, so that was pretty much the point. All right, but it says the gates of your land will be opened wide to your enemy and set on fire and burned. In other words, destruction. Okay, an attack. Okay, because when you go into that word siege, spelled that wrong. When you go into the word siege, right, it says the military sense, the stationing of an attack force before or around a fortified place. The act or process of besieging a city, castle, etc. is attested from 1300. The notion is of an army sitting down before a place. Okay? And that's exactly what we're witnessing down there on the borders of America. All right? An army sitting, waiting to gain access, okay, to America. All right? To, to do what they were, called to do, all because the Lord is the Lord is allowing this. Okay. Scriptures go into how his words are faithful and true. Okay. Therefore, these things are going to happen. The Most High is not a man that he should lie. Okay. So this is definitely going to happen, man. And then we may not necessarily know if it's going to be in 2025, or it could even be sooner than that. All right. But we know it to be true because it's, as foretold in the scriptures, man. All right. So that was pretty much it for this lesson. Lord willing, it was edifying. And with that, I want to give our honor, praise, and infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. And until next time, Shalom.